The champ is here!
Finally!
I'm listening to Ace's Place.
The boss is back!
Ace's Place is always the place.
I'm here, Papi!
I love Ace's Place.
That is big. You know what? That is huge.
I love being at Ace's Place.
And if you're not down with that, then we've got two words for you!
Ace's Place.
What a rush!
Once again, welcome to Ace's Place. Now, this interview you're about to hear, I drug out of the files. It's back in the day when I first started to learn about being in broadcasting. And it was on some homemade equipment. And you're going to tell the difference in quality. But I'm going to try to do some things that make it easy for you to listen to. But it's Howard Hewett and myself. And I took out the pieces where we're going to talk about Shalimar. Little things here and there, some turning points, and this and that. So be sure to sit back and enjoy one of your all-time favorites, Howard Hewett, Shalimar, Ace's Place. So let's get started with Howard Hewett. And the first question I'm going to ask Howard is, how did you get involved with Shalimar? Because Shalimar had started before you was a part of them. So what happened for you to get involved?
It was crazy. The whole Shalimar situation was like, to this day, it's just the way it was supposed to be. Because about 2 months before I got the offer to join Shalimar, 2 or 3 months before I got the offer, I was working with some people at Motown.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't signed papers or contracts or anything like that, but I was working on a project that this cat Jeffrey Bowen was putting together. He was a producer over at Motown. He was putting together this project with Eddie Hazel. Used to be the guitar player from Parliament Funkadelic. So we did. I was working with them. You know, after a couple months or so, they kind of started getting a little shady as far as like getting the as far as money is concerned, as far as payment on time and the whole thing. So I had called a meeting. I called a meeting to sit and talk about, the whole thing and talk about how we're gonna, how they're giving me the runaround on my money, blah 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 blah, and I'm in the middle of my whole thing and the phone rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy answers the phone, and he looks at me, he says, "It's for you," And I said, "Well, if it's for me, if it's my lady, tell her I'll call her back." Because at the time I was dating a girl that eventually she became my wife.
Okay.
And she worked for Don Cornelius at the Soul Train Dance Studio.
Okay.
And so I said, I dropped her off at work and went to this meeting, and I said, well, if it's my lady, tell her I'll call her back. He said, well, it's not a lady, it's a guy, and it sounds like it's long distance, right? So, I got on the phone, and it was Jeffrey Daniel from Shalimar.
Okay.
While I was overseas, during the time I was overseas, they had formed Shalimar, and they had that tune, Uptown Festival, the first medley of these bunch of these Motown hits and stuff.
Right.
And so, and then they had a lead singer then, his name was Gary Mumford. And then they did Take That to the Bank, and then they had for that song they had this cat that was singing lead named Gerald Brown. So I get on the phone, and it's Jeffrey Daniels, and he said, "Man, I know we talked about it a long time ago, because we had talked about me getting together with them like 8-9 months before, but I was going back overseas." But he said, he ran down this thing. They had gotten into a little thing with Gerald, and so they couldn't work it out. So they wanted to offer me, the position as lead singer of the group. And they said, we can. He said, "Where are you? You're at the Motown building?" I said, "Yeah, I'm up on the 15th floor."
Okay.
He said, "Well, Solar has an office in that same building down on the 9th floor. If you go in there and talk to Dick Griffey, who owned Solar at the time, he said, you talk to Dick. He'll reiterate what we said, what we're offering, and the whole thing, and we can go from there." So I get off the phone, and this was on a Friday, right?
Right.
I get off the phone, and And I tell the cat, what the deal was, the producer and his co-producer. And I always remember what the co-producer said, and I always kid him about it when I see him. He lives back in Detroit now, and sometimes he'll come to the show when I play Detroit. And he told me, he said, man, Shalimar's nothing but a fly-by-night disco group. They're not going to amount to anything. You don't want to get hooked up with them, right? And so, like I looked down, I said, well, look, I'm parked on the street. I need to go put some money in the meter, And so, I said, I'll be back, right? And I went downstairs to the 9th floor, went in, and I talked to Dick Griffey. He reiterated what Jeffrey said. And then, I said, well, I have to give these people, a chance the people I've been working with, a chance to rectify themselves because, even though we hadn't signed papers, your word is more important than any kind of papers you can sign. You find out in this business, But I said, just let me, give them a chance to rectify themselves. I'll call you in the morning because Shalimar was out on the road at the time in the middle of a promotional tour. So when Gerald left, he left them out on the road in the middle of a promotional tour without a lead singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went home and I called the people in Motown. I said, look, if you guys want to rectify this, I'll be home all day, all night long. Call me, So nobody calls, right? And I called Dick Griffey back that morning, that Saturday morning. And I, told him, he came and picked me up, and I told him that, that Motown people hadn't rectified their thing. So he came and picked me up. I went over to his house and watched the videotape of Shalimar's show. And then I remember I was sitting in this rocking chair, and I'm rocking, and the videotape goes off, and Dick says, well, sing something for me. Jeffrey and Jody say you're a great singer. Sing something for me.
Okay.
I said, just sing, just a cappella, He said, yeah, sing something. So to myself, I said, well, Lord, me and you, right? And I started into Feel the Fire by People Bryce, right?
Ooh, good one.
And I got through the first verse, half the hook. Dick says, he stops me, he says, okay, I'll be right back. He goes upstairs and comes back down, and he says, here's some cash. It was only like $500, but at the time, that was cool,
Right.
And he said, here's some cash, leave to pay some bills and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then he went into his other pocket, and he had, that was back in the day when you didn't have to have a specific name on the airline ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody could ride on anybody's airline ticket. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And so he went into his other pocket, and he had an airline ticket. He said, you have to cash a red eye out tonight and meet the group in New Jersey tomorrow and rehearse the lip sync and the choreography to take that to the bank all day Sunday, just because Monday you have a TV show to do, right?
Okay.
And that's exactly how it went down, man. That Friday I got the offer. Saturday I guess I did a little lightweight audition. I don't know if you want to call it that. Then Saturday night I'm on the plane to New Jersey. I get into New Jersey on Sunday morning. I meet Jeffrey and Jody at this hotel in New Jersey. It was Newark, New Jersey, and we rehearsed all day. And the next day, we did this little local dance show in Patterson, New Jersey. So I actually did the Milli Vanilli thing long before Milli Vanilli did it.
Okay, Howard. So far, we've followed the path of you and Shalimar coming together. Now, there was some significant song that helped carve Shalimar or took it to another dimension, and that is probably one of everybody's favorite slow jams, and not just a favorite, but one of the baddest slow jams ever in the world. We're talking about The Lover in You. Explain to us how significant that song was to the movement of Shalimar.
Well, The Lover in You was a song. It was one of the most significant songs, I think, as far as Shalimar was concerned, because The Lover in You took Shalimar out of that whole, when people would refer to Shalimar as the disco group Shalimar, from referring them from the disco group Shalimar to the group Shalimar. So, because before then there was a bunch of dance tunes and all that kind of stuff. But for the lover in you, and that took us all. It took the whole thing into a whole nother direction.
It's got to be real. Girl, I could write a book on how you're making me feel. I know I'll never find another who could match the love you're giving to me. So this is for the lover in you. This ring means I'll always be true. This is I will start loving you. This time it's gonna last forever. I trust you, yes I do. And girl, you're not the kind of guy could easily charm. 'Cause the meaning of love is always shown to me when you are wrapped in my arms. Oh, baby, this is for the lover in you. This ring means I'll always be true. This is how we'll start loving new. This time it's gonna last forever. I don't wanna give you up. For the lover in you. I love you, baby. For the lover in you, girl. This time it's gonna last forever. I can say I never met a girl, no, who satisfies my mental and my physical thing. When I lay me down to sleep, I rest assured with the thought that you are right next to me, my baby. This is for the lover in you. Take this ring, it means I'll always be true. This is I will start loving you. This time we're gonna last forever. This is for the lover in you. Take my ring. Oh, sweet thing, yeah. This time we're gonna be together. So much love between us. I'll be the one to come running. Oh, home to you. Home to you. You give me sweet love. With a woman like you, I don't need to play around. Oh, you're more than just one woman. You're blowing my mind with the love that you're giving. That's what you hear me say, girl, every day. It's for the lover in you, baby. With this ring, I'll show you that there ain't no maybes. It's for the lover in you, baby. And this time we're gonna last. It's for the lover in you, baby. With this ring, I'll show you.
Ace's Place.